Students, so today we are going to work on pronunciation. Pronunciation, this word right here, just means how to say words. It's how you speak, how you talk. So we're going to talk about how you pronounce or how you say the verbs that end in an S. So the S sound can make 3 different sounds after a verb when it's in the present tense. So this just means when you have a verb like walk, or if you have a verb, an action word like speak or say. When we add the S, if we say he or she, right? Because if we say I walk, that's right. But if we need to say she walks, when we have to add an S to the end. So there are 3 different S sounds that you can have for this, and it works in lots of English words. But the hard part about the verb words is it can be different pronunciation, and there isn't a way to know how to say it. You just have to remember. You have to memorize how to say it. So, for example, the S at the end of a verb can make just a S sound, like in the word snake. So just practice. I'm sure you've done this before, but just saying S. So when you say, my son works downtown, a little bit faster, my son works downtown. That's how you pronounce this one. It can make a Z sound, like in zebra. So, for example, my daughter lives in California. It's not lives, lives. It's a Z sound. My daughter lives in California. My daughter lives in California. It also can make a EZ sound, which sounds like the word easy, like easy is spelled this way, but it sounds like this. It sounds like easy. Easy. So she teaches is. So it doesn't make so much of an E sound as it does an E sound. So she teach as English. She teach as English. She teaches English. So that's the different ways you can say it. So here we're going to practice. So I have a sentence that you don't need to use the S, right? Because of who we're talking about. It's an I or a they or a we or a you. But when we say she, he, or it, we need to put the S at the end. So the verb get, I get lunch at the cafeteria. She gets lunch at work. For this one, we're going to be looking at the verb go. They go to English class. He goes to English class. Say. They say it is good to stretch. She says, it's a Z sound, she says nice things. No. We know how to do that. He knows what to do. Think. I think it is a good idea. She thinks, it's a s sound for think. She thinks it is important. See, I see my friends on the weekend. He sees, this is a sound, he sees his family during the week. Want, they want us to be at work at 6. She wants, it's a sound, she wants to take a break. Come, we come home at 7. My son comes, it's a Z sound, my son comes home at 8. Mean, it means, it says sound, it means the bus is delayed. Take, we take our break every 15 minutes. My boss takes, it's a s sound, my boss takes the bus. Make, I make dinner every night. Alex makes, it's a s sound, Alex makes jewelry. Give, we give my son a ride to work. Casey gives, z sound, Casey gives rides to work. So as I read, you guys can just pause the video and try reading them again on your own just to practice how to say all of them. This also is really good English practice for reading, to practice your reading. So if you want to read all of these again on your own, that would be great. So we're going to practice with some reading. The words that are yellow are the words that need to be pronounced with a s, a z, or an es sound. So I will go through and just read every word slowly, but so you can read with me, or you can pause the video and try practice reading it on your own first and see what you get right or wrong. I also will go over some of the words just to make sure you understand them. So, I work at the Huntsman Cancer Institute. I work from 7 to 3. My friend works at the Huntsman Cancer Institute. She works from 10 to 6. We eat lunch in the cafeteria. I bring my lunch. She gets lunch from the cafeteria. My mom picks me up from work. She works at the hospital next to where I work. My mom teaches an English class at the hospital. We live next to Liberty Park. My dad lives in Argentina. He comes to visit during the summer. I take the bus to work in the morning. I get up very early. It makes me tired. I want to sleep when I get home. My co-workers do not get up early. They stay up late. So we'll just go over some of the words again. So work, when you put an S at the end of it, it just makes a S sound. So works. Get makes a S sound. Gets. Pick just makes picks. It's a S sound. Teach makes a S sound. Teaches. Teaches. Lives makes a Z sound. Comes makes a Z sound too. Comes. And makes a S sound. Makes. To go over some of the words and if you didn't understand them. So right here, she works from 10 to 6. You'll see that there's this little line in between the number 10 and 6. When you see this line, it means this, 2. When it comes between numbers, it means this. So 7 to 3, 10 to 6. You'll see this on grocery stores, hours, and things like that. It just means that whatever is happening from 10 to 6, meaning if it's at a store and it says our hours are 10 to 6, it means that it's open from 10 to 11 to 12 to 1 to 2 to 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that's when it closes. When someone is talking about the hours that they work, this means that they have to be at work, they have to be there at 10 o'clock, and they get to leave at 6. So this little line just means 2, and when you say 2 between numbers, it just means that from 7 and all of the time in between until 3, they're working. They're working that time. The word institute, we've talked about this before in class, but the word institute just means a place that helps people by teaching them or studying something, by working on something. So, for example, the Huntsman Cancer Institute, when it says institute, that means that they study and help people who have cancer. If it said Huntsman Learning Institute instead of cancer, if it said learning, it would mean that the institute studies and helps people with learning. So an institute doesn't always mean that they study cancer. An institute can just means that they study anything. They study something. I'm trying to think other words that you may not know. Oh, this one right here, my coworkers. Coworker, this one has a little dash, a little line, like up here. But since these are not numbers, it doesn't mean 2. It is not the same thing. These two are not the same. We put these little lines between words when we are trying to connect them in English. So when you say the word it usually means together. So when you say co-workers, it just means other people that work there that you work with, that you work together. So co-workers just means So for example, Lupita, Rosita is your coworker, or Rosita, Lupita is your coworker. So if there's somebody that you work with and somebody asked, "Who is that?" you could say, "Oh, that's my coworker." Or you can. There's lots of ways to say coworker. So coworker is just it's a way of saying person that I work with. So I think that that's about it for today. So I will be posting more lessons next week. I'm not sure when I'll be able to come back to teach classes. I'm going to email Corey and ask her, and I will let you all know. But I will have classes for you. I'll keep sending you English lessons until we can have class again.